reason Milo went missing.
You know, I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
So
Hey, Taylor.
I really loved you on this show, and I obviously adore you on The Bear as well. So
Thank
I
you.
have to
That's
ask,
so nice.
I mean, you're so great in both, and I do have to ask, which family do you think is more dysfunctional? Is it the Irvines
Oh,
or is it the
great.
Brazados?
Ooh, hard to say, honestly. I think the Irvines. Because I do think the Bears there's some redemption there
Hmm.
in certain moments, but and yeah, yeah. But I think it's the Irvines.
Yeah, they are giving each other a run for their money for sure.
They really are. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you're such a gifted comedic actress, but I really enjoyed seeing you show off your more dramatic chops in this show. I'm so
Thank
curious for you, what was the more nerve-wracking part of that, and then the more fun part of doing something a little bit more gritty and serious like this?
Yeah, obviously I'm working with these incredibly talented like real actors. And yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking to like go in and to like do this dramatic scene where like it's like, okay, episode 5, I would say, was the most challenging because, up until that point, we knew who our characters were because it was on the page that Megan wrote and Megan Gallagher, our showrunner. Um, but episode 5 kind of takes a turn, and Leah has to kind of reveal this other part of herself, and things unfold, and she kind of becomes a different person. So, you know, I met Daniel Monks, who plays Brian, and Jake Lacy, who plays Peter, and we got along. So we kind of, established that connection in the beginning. And while we were shooting chronologically, when we got to episode 5, things really just like took a toll, like they changed. They took a different direction. And so that was kind of yeah, that was the biggest challenge for me with that with
Yeah,
Leah.
absolutely. That is definitely the turning point for me too. I was like, okay, this show is going somewhere I didn't see it going.
Yes, yeah.
You have one of the last scenes in the show, and one of the scenes that I find the most interesting, like when Leah is being questioned about Peter's death, and she said she's not going to blame Marissa, but then she ultimately says that she didn't see her look at the labels. Can you sort of unpack that moment and what you think that she's thinking? Because I found that so layered and juicy.
Yeah, I loved doing that. I think, this is kind of her. Leah has been so just kind of she's been so pushed down her entire life, and she's been so silenced, and all she wants to do is like scream at the top of her lungs. And that's why she's so impulsive. That's why she's, kind of a loose cannon. And I think at that moment it's like her just being very thoughtful and smart about how she is getting her redemption. And it's, in a way, it's like passive because it's not all her, but she is complicit. And and yeah, so to be able to like have that weight kind of be lifted and to like feel it, that was really cathartic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that her life does really get turned upside down over the course of this show. I'm so curious, what do you think her life looks like after the events of all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I hope that, she is still the great aunt that she was, and that she and Brian are as tight as ever, and that bond has now they've just gotten even closer, and they trust each other, and he really trusts her now. And then I hope that she has a friendship with Marissa, and she's still a part of it, and this is this thing that they move past.
Yeah,
Wish
for
her the
sure.
best.
Yes, I was sad that there's obviously not going to be a future with Colin because I found myself rooting for them despite, maybe the circumstances weren't the most like recommended. I felt like their chemistry was so sweet and they had a really beautiful dynamic. I'm curious if you can
They
talk about
did.
working with Jay to sort of develop that chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, working with Jay was amazing. He is so funny off camera. So we had like there was a lightness to when we had scenes together. And also, yeah, I mean, she really didn't explore the relationship in the way that she wanted to publicly, mostly because of her brother telling her that it's not a good idea. And that's how she kind of like lived her life, is just her brother placing this label on her as like you're the fuck up, like you're not gonna do this, and but also blaming her for it, of saying, well, why can't you do that? It's just like gaslighting. And so yeah, no, working with Jay was so fun. He's the best.
I love it. I love you two so much. We need like a prequel spin-off or something where we can actually
Yes.
see them together
Oh,
a little bit
I
more.
love that. Yes, love
Yeah,
it.
you're welcome. We'll pitch it. We'll make it happen. We'll
Yeah,
manifest
yeah.
it.
Putting it on
Like I
my
said,
vision.
I'm a huge yes, sorry, I think it's glitching a little bit. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of you on The Bear, and I know you haven't started filming the new season yet, but have you discussed with the, showrunners anything about what could be next for Sugar? Where do you think we might find her in the next season of that?
I have no idea where what's gonna happen. I haven't seen anything. I haven't really discussed anything, but I'm excited because like Leah, I love Sugar as well, and she's very different from Leah, but yeah, I do want what's best for her. They're
It's
like my
absolutely
children,
yes,
these
absolutely.
characters.
Um, I think the great thing about both shows is there are so many shocking twists and turns. I never know what I'm gonna expect with either one. I do want to ask for this show, what was the most shocking moment for you personally? Because I gasped a couple of times. I want to know, I guess, what was the most jaw-dropping thing for you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are a ton. I mean, I guess in episode 5, that big reveal, that was unexpected, and also just for an actor to be able to play that, it was such a gift. But yeah, that was cool. And in that episode, so many other things kind of unfold after, and so I would say that episode as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I could pick your brain about this all day. I do have to wrap, but thank you so much for your time
Thank
and
you so
congratulations on
much. It
this.
was great talking to you.
Thank you, you too.